So first question I have for you is, what are the origins of Christian nationalism?
Christian nationalism is a broad term, and the origins, at least in the United States, they started in the 17, 1800s, but it really became something of a talking point or a platform around 1944 with a guy named Gerald L.K. Smith, who ran against FDR in 1944.
Okay.
He ran on what was called the America's First ticket. He was a preacher, a politician, and a Nazi sympathizer.
Okay.
And he specifically said that in one of his speeches, we must keep control of our own money and our own blood. In other words, we must remain true to the Declaration of Independence. That is nationalism. We believe that the spiritual symbol of our statesmanship is the cross, which is indeed the symbol of Christianity. So what he did was, all of a sudden, he grabs all this stuff and he rolls it up in a fake doctrine he calls Christianity. So Christian nationalism is neither Christian nor nationalistic or patriotic. And I say that because if you're a Christian, you're supposed to love your brother, but Christian nationalism is all about divisiveness and all about white nationalism and not necessarily Christian nationalism.
Okay.
And they, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, and some of the other ultra right-wing Republicans throw around the term Christian nationalism, and they say that, United States is a Christian nation. But I'll ask you, okay, Christian nation means what? There are, I forget how many thousands of different variants of Christianity in the world. So what version of Christianity are they talking about? Are they talking about evangelical Christians? Are they talking about Catholicism? Are they what are they actually talking about? And to say that this is a Christian nation goes directly against what our Constitution states, which is Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Right there, it says we're a secular nation. We're not a Christian nation. In the First Amendment to the Constitution, it specifically says separation of church and state.
Okay.
But to go further, if you're a Christian, Jesus talked about the separation of church and state. He said, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's and unto the Lord's, which is the Lord's, which means that he's saying what you got to do for the government and your responsibility to the government is to the government, and your responsibility for Christianity or the Lord's work is different. And these people want to blend their politics and religion. And what they really want to do is they want their religion to reflect their politics, not their politics reflect their religion. And what that means, it's a subtle point, but if you're a Christian and you believe in helping people and you believe that all people are equal, then your politics should reflect that. But what they want is they want to have their ultra conservative political stance where they're talking about, we don't believe in wokeness. We don't want to teach about slavery. We don't want to teach about segregation. We don't want to talk about the Holocaust. We don't want to talk about the Japanese internment camps. And what they want to do is they want their religion, they now want their religion to reflect their politics. So their politics are divisive, so their version of Christianity is divisive.
So you were saying that they're calling it they're saying it as if it's like a spiritual movement or religious movement, but literally, it's more of a political movement. And then they're just trying to use Christian. I don't even know if it's Christian principles, but maybe Christian language.
They want to wrap themselves in a fake Christian doctrine.
Okay.
Look. For example, if you look at January 6th, the insurgents at the Capitol, you had people carrying crosses, but they were beating policemen. They were wrapped in a flag and beating policemen with flagpoles. So, and these people say that they were Christian nationalists, some of them. So how do you reconcile the fact that you're trying to overthrow the government, you're beating people, but you're calling yourself Christian and patriotic?
Oh, because you're saying based upon, is it Romans? I mean, there's scriptures that literally talk about, having respect for authority, and rebellion. The spirit of rebellion is largely condemned in the Bible. So you're saying if you are essentially rebelling in that way and you are going against Christian principles, but you're saying you're Christian, then it's like, obviously it's not a movement.
And it's definitely not patriotic.
Okay.
Because a lot of the things they say go directly against the Constitution, saying that we're a Christian nation and that there's no separation of church and state. How can that be when the Bible says separation of church and state and the Constitution says separation of church and state? Okay. When you mingle, so what these people really want is a theocracy.
Okay.
They don't want anything other than a Christian version of the Taliban, where they want to enforce whatever beliefs they have on everybody else.
Now, have you ever heard any Christian nationalists dance around that? Because honestly, I've read some of the different mainstream articles I've read, which have been in favor of Christian nationalism, or they're like, no, you should be patriotic. This is not bad. This is, they won't really talk about some of these more negative components. So have you seen people kind of dance around some of the more, the racial tones that are connected with?
Oh yeah, they dance around it all the time. They dance, Lauren Boebert says, I'm not a racist. Marjorie Taylor Greene says, I'm not a racist. All of them that are in politics call themselves Christian nationalists. They're one of two things are true. Either they're truly ignorant and don't understand what Christian nationalists, what the term really means, or they're hoping you're ignorant enough to believe that they're not racist when they say it.
And would you say, again, the core reason that Christian nationalism is exclusively tied to white identity politics is because of its origin? Or you're saying okay.
It's not only the origins, but fundamentally it's the origins. And then if you look at the people that are calling themselves Christian nationalists and how they behave and what they believe, then But a lot of it has to do with the origins. The origins of the term are separatists, they're racist, and they're non-inclusive of people of color. So it's like the Confederate flag. People say, oh, it's a symbol of my heritage. Then your heritage is racism.
Okay, that's what you're saying, because these people who are claiming it today, they're not challenging. It's not like they're challenging those xenophobic, racist ideology. They're not challenging any of that stuff. They're just kind of running with it, but then just saying, "Oh, it's not that bad."
Right. So, they say no. It's Christian and patriotic, but if you go look deeper, you'll know that it's neither Christian nor patriotic.
Yeah. Okay.
But like I said, so the people that use that term are either ignorant of its origins, which I doubt, but they're hoping you're too ignorant to understand what they're saying.
Yeah. Okay. No. That makes sense. No, that makes sense.